My name is Mauro Hammond. I'm playing Macbeth. I'm a member of the resident acting company here at Trinity Rep.
Hi, my name is Janine Kane, and in this production of Macbeth, I play one of the witches.
Macbeth himself, whom I'm playing, he meets these three witches at the beginning of the play, and they tell him that he's going to become the king. And as the play moves forward, the dark magic of the witches, he starts to become more and more interested in that sort of dark side of things, and leaves the world of kind of human morality behind, so that I can continue on my quest for power.
You get to create all these magical potions and use all these magical words and incantations to make things happen as the play goes along. But what Kirk Columbus did in this production was integrate the witches throughout the entire play. So in a little way, we're all kind of Macbeth's hands as the story unfolds. We also actually carry out some pretty horrible things for Macbeth's rise, or for Macbeth's rise or fall, however you might want to look at it. The strange thing in playing that is the delight with which the witches take part in these actions. We get some of the greatest language. It's just so different from the rest of the world when the witches come in, and it is really fun. It's some of the most fun I've had on stage in a long time, because how often do you get to take part in magic?
I think Macbeth is actually really moral, and somehow he gets this idea that is a bad thing, that he shouldn't have such a strong sense of morals as he does, and that he needs to eradicate them in order to gain power. So for him, it's like this sort of constant struggle with pushing away his humanity, or his sense of responsibility towards the rest of humanity, because he thinks that he should be pursuing power at all else, at the cost of anything else.
It's a pretty brutal world that these people live in. It's really devoid of kind of warmth and caring and understanding. There are moments of that, but then they're pretty aggressively beaten down.
It's a play that a lot of us are familiar with, but I think really learning so much of what happens in this play is, even though it was written so many 400 years ago, there's still so much that applies to today, and thinking about it in conjunction with what's happening in our world today, and the crazy desire for power that a lot of people have, and what they do and what lengths they go through to get what it is that they think that they really need and want, is something that's so resonant for us in this current time.
This play was originally produced in 1606. That's what all the history and all the research tells us. At the time that this play was written, there's a huge level of heightened paranoia, suspicion of everything around you, and if you view this play through that lens of paranoia and suspicion, it makes a lot of sense. You have witchcraft is a very kind of difficult thing at the time. It's very taboo, it's a black art, and he put witchcraft into this play. If you look at that play through that lens of the witches are the kind of negative influence and the sowers of suspicion and fear, it makes a lot more sense.
Well, I mean, the music's great. We've got a DJ playing music under a lot of it, and sound, and that's cool. I think that the thing that younger audiences are really gonna like is like the blood and the fighting, and just all the people conniving and trying to. I mean, it's just kind of great to watch.
First of all, it draws you in with the music. There's some really wonderful music. There's a great music scape that happens throughout that underscores kind of what's happening in each scene. Just visually, there's so much to attract anybody's eye. There's stuff happening. Even when you first walk into the space, you'll see how everything's really open and bare, and there are ladders going places, and there are different levels, and you'll see people coming in from all different sides. There are some great effects that happen without giving anything away. That are really surprising and shocking and kind of thrilling.
This play is supposedly cursed. Theoretically, what happened is witches put a curse on this play at the beginning because they were upset with the fact that Shakespeare had actually put in these rituals into the play. If you're working on Macbeth, you are allowed to say Macbeth, obviously. It's very difficult to work on this play and not say the words. If you are not working on this play, there are a lot of actors who are very superstitious and you are not allowed to say the play. Yeah?
At all?
I am not superstitious. I think that what happens is because of the witchcraft, people, anytime something goes wrong, they're like, "Ooh, it's the curse." But I don't buy it. But who knows?
Well, some weird things have happened during this run, and weird things happened during the last run. But weird things kind of happen a lot in people's lives, and during rehearsals especially. I used to be a believer in this superstition until I actually started doing it, and then I realized that it's just a word, and it's just it's a superstition like anything else, like a black cat and a walking under a ladder. But